Hi everyone, this is Pierrick from p2design. In this video I will just show you a short review of my Ember Titan shaders and also a really fast overview of the rig, just a few tips I'm using, and they are pretty general. I just want to thank you all for all the great feedback I had on 3D Artist and other forums, and also for the big success I met with the Sketchfab model. Thanks to you, I will be published in the issue number 83 of 3D Artist. So go buy it if you want to see my work in this magazine. That's really an amazing reward from all of you. Thank you. So first step will be the rig. I'm using oftenly for my characters the p2design human meta rig. I encourage you, if it's your very first character or creation, for example, to try to create the rig from nothing. It will allow you to understand all the function involved in the good rigging, and once you're comfortable with this, you can use pre-made rig that are oftenly more accurate than the one you could do by yourself. But it will allow you to modify it at will and understand the eventual bugs and stuff like this. So I'm slightly customized it, removing face controllers and face deformation bones that were useless for such a character, like the eye sockets and stuff like this, and just added some master controllers here to control, for example, the eyebrows with only one bones instead of using each controller bone here. So I can make him smile. I believe you could have a look to the p2design video and website if you want more in-depth information about this super cool rigging. The only thing I don't like in this rig is the finger rigging. So I've just make some kind of rigging that is really close to the to the default meta rig, using only a scale bone to rotate the fingers, and it could be rotated to change the root shape of the finger. So really simple to have multiple controllers. And then I'm using a bunch of corrective shape keys on this model and on all my models, because even with the best rigging ever and a very good weight painting, you will always have overlapping geometry when you bend an arm or something like this. On the hips, that's really a problem. It's pretty impossible to have a perfect rig and perfect deformation of the legs without doing this, because the butt will often react weirdly, and the hips will oftenly get into the body when you turn the leg this way, for example. So you will have to use shape keys and corrective shape keys, I mean, and it's also allow you to add additional deformation, like muscle deformation, even if this area is not affected by the different bones overlaid here. I can give it a contraction effect. So these characters still have kind of a soft body reaction, because it was too complicated to make it like stone. I mean, I don't have the abilities or the time to do it, so I believe separating each stone part and making rigid deformation would have been really a pain, and I've made a test animation and it turned out pretty well even without this. But for the back here, I've tried to keep those spikes as hard as possible, making the joints here deforming when I'm moving the head or stuff like this. So the spikes follow and all the subtle deformation are here. and I'm pretty happy with this. You see here, they don't shrink, they don't stretch, they keep their volume intact. But here in the back area, those moves like there were muscles. So this nice preview, viewport preview with this texture, it's just I'm in texture mode, so I will just split this here so that you can see here. And in the node editor, the map that is displayed in the viewport is just the map active in the material of the character. So if I select the normal here, it will take some second to update, and I can see my normals here appearing. So what I've just made is that I've baked a combined render of my character and just added some lightness to the baked texture, and I have a cool viewport shading here. So let's have a short shader review. It is pretty simple. Lots of people ask me of how I've done the emissive shader here to make the lava. So it's really simple. The model was sculpted in ZBrush and Retopo in Blender. Then I've made another pass of sculpting in ZBrush and exported few maps like the AO maps, but also baked the pointiness mask in Blender. So you've seen I have my my normal map here, my diffuse shader. So the pointiness map was really useful to add those in light of the peaks on the rock here that we can see on the normal map. Those are also included in the diffuse, and it also helped me to use it as a mask for the stone. We have a pretty straight stone map here, but when we are on the corners and peaks of the stone, it gets softened. And I have my emission here, the base one, that was just made using also this property of pointiness, and then a color ramp, and then it was baked or made in Photoshop, I don't remember. So those parts turned to pure black, and those really creasy area turned to be the shader of the emission. To make some variation to it, I just changed the color here because it was too yellowish to make it more reddish. And I've also used my emission shader here, reduced its area to some little shrinked lines, and mix it with a Voronoi texture to have this kind of mix where it doesn't appear everywhere, and make it more natural. We have variation on character, and that's a very important thing to make it believable. So the diffuse color is just plugged into my diffuse shader here, but I've made some variation. If you check lava stone or some stone like this that has a lot of silicium, there is like a crystal effect on the border. So I've added this layer weight effect with a color changing to have some different reflection on the Fresnel areas, and it just bring me some. It's very subtle here, but it's also used in the glossy color. So that gives my character more variation in its color. So very simple. I have my roughness driving the roughness value of my glossy BSDF, a simple diffuse, a simple mix, and that's it. And then we have this emission shader that is finally plugged, and I've added a driver to the strength, and this driver is used on the rig here. So I've just slightly modified the script of the rigging to have this lava emission property here. So very nice. When I animate it, I want him to be more hanger. I can push the emission to 2, then in post-production and slightly blurring it to give it like more glowing effect. And if I push it to 10, you see it's very intense here. So you can make fire blowing from the mouse or something like this. And by default at 0.8, it looks like it's more subtle, more sleeping. So that's a matter of giving variation to this, because you can't make it briefing. That won't look really natural. So for the Ember Titan and the Ember Demon, I use those variation to give it more life to the character. So finally, the Sketchfab model was made. So I just used the normal map as usual, used the emission map. So I've baked the final result of the emission map for this character, and to have this nice lightning, I just kind of reproduced this light here and used the diffuse direct map on this. So I will show you how it looks. Here we can see the general diffuse, but we can also appreciate the AO and the shadow on the surface here. And here in the groin region, we can see the light blowing from below, and also on the legs here we have this nice reflection. So I don't ask Sketchfab to simulate it, but I've just baked in cycles very powerful lightning coming from above, and then in Sketchfab just added a point light here with this post-production glowing effect, and we feel like light is coming from here, while I'm using just a simple directional light here and this point light, and the global lightning was made in cycles and baked. So those shadows here are not generated by any of the Sketchfab lightning, but by cycles and baked. And I've reduced the reflection on the model so that you have this feeling of geometry, of roughness here, of scratches, etc. But it doesn't erase the effect made in cycles. So it is currently more accurate than Sketchfab model. And we can see that the pointiness map here is really present, while in my final models it's more subtle. But for the Sketchfab, I wanted something really powerful, really contrasted, and it made some success, so that was a good point. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I let you with this short preview render of the upcoming teaser for the Throne short movie. See you!